Hello everyone, welcome to this discussion on previous year questions which appeared in PGTRB chemistry examination. In this lecture I am going to discuss unit 5 questions that appeared in 2012 PGTRB chemistry examination. Okay, let's get into the questions. Yeah, this is question number 1. Open system is one which follows. Yeah, it is a very simple question. We know very well open system. Yeah, open system is one which can exchange mass as well as energy with the surrounding. Okay, what is meant by that? So open system can exchange mass with the surrounding. That means mass transfer will occur. Open system can also exchange energy with the surrounding, so energy transfer also will occur. Okay, it means mass is not constant, energy is not constant. Mass is not constant, that means change in mass is not equal to 0. Similarly, energy also not constant, so change in energy also not equal to 0. Okay, therefore the correct option for this question is option C. Okay, then next question, question number 2. Variation of chemical potential with the pressure at constant temperature is. Okay, to find this, just remember this expression. For pure substance, suppose if a system contain pure substance, change in chemical potential can be given as molar volume into change in pressure minus molar entropy into change in temperature. This is well known one. And here, see here, it is given that temperature is constant. At constant temperature, dt is 0, therefore this term becomes 0. So we can write change in chemical potential equal to molar volume into dP. Or we can write dou mu by dou P. Bring this dP to the left hand side. So dou mu by dou P at constant temperature equal to molar volume. Actually, this is the expression for change in chemical potential with respect to pressure for pure substance. Suppose if you have a mixture, okay, then in mixture, change in chemical potential of a particular component, say I, change in chemical potential of ith component with respect to pressure at constant temperature can be given as Vi bar. What does this symbol indicate? Vi bar means partial molar volume. Okay, so change in chemical potential of an ith component, right, in a mixture with respect to pressure at constant temperature can be given as partial molar volume. So the correct option for this question is option C. Okay, then next question. Question number 3. Which among the following is a boson? Yeah, listen, we know very well particles which have spin, right? Particles which have the property of spin, particle having spin can be divided into two. Okay, what are they? Number 1, fermions, and number 2, bosons. Fermions, number 2, bosons. What are fermions? Fermions are particles having half integer spin, that is 1 by 2, 3 by 2, 5 by 2, etc. What are bosons? Bosons are particles which have integer spin like 0, 1, 2, 3, etc. Okay, so now keeping this in mind, I am going to analyze the options. Okay, see option A. In option A we have proton. Proton is given. You know very well proton is a half integer spin particle. So proton is a fermion. Okay, I'm sorry, proton is a fermion. Then in option B, photon is given. Photon also has spin angular momentum and the spin value of photon is 1. So it has integer spin, therefore photon is a boson. So the correct option for this question is option B. Then in option C we have electron. Electrons have half integer spin 1 by 2. So it is a fermion. Similarly, neutron also has half integer spin. It has half integer spin 1 by 2. So it is also a fermion. Okay, so the correct option for this question is option B. Then question number 4, the escaping tendency of a substance from a given state is, yeah, this is a direct question. Okay, fugacity is the, it gives the or it's an estimate of a substance which can escape from a state, from a given state. So fugacity is nothing but escaping tendency of a substance. Okay, it's a direct question, so the correct option is B. Then question number 5, the number of microstates possible for D2 electronic configuration is, yeah, this is a very simple question. See, in D2 electronic configuration we have 2 electrons. Okay, they are fermions. Okay, they are fermions, and it is given D subshell. You know very well, D subshell has 5 d orbitals. 5 d orbitals, or we can also say that it has 10 spin states. Okay, in each orbital 2 opposite spin are possible, so we can write spin states separately. So there are 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So there are 10 spin states possible for D subshell. Keep this in mind, very important. These are all orbitals. Okay, these are all spin states. Okay, so to calculate number of microstate, we should consider only the spin state. So there are 10 spin states possible, and we have 2 electrons. Therefore, I am going to use the formula number of microstate, also called thermodynamic probability for fermion, can be given as G factorial by n factorial into G minus n factorial, where G is the spin state degeneracy and n is the number of electrons. Okay, so spin degeneracy is 10 here, so 10 factorial over 2 factorial into 10 minus 2, 8 factorial. Okay, 10 factorial can be written as 10 into 9 into 8 factorial in the numerator, and in the denominator 2 factorial can be written as 2 into 1. I'll write here 2 into 1, and 8 factorial, you just keep it as such. 8 factorial cancels each other, and here 2 into 1 is 2, 1 2s are 2, 5 2s are 10, 9 into 5 you'll get 45. So for D2 configuration we'll get 45 microstates. So the correct option for this question is option B. Okay, yeah. Next, question number 6, the first weight loss in thermogravimetric analysis of calcium oxalate monohydrate is due to loss of, yeah, it is very direct question. It is due to the removal of hydrated water. Okay, it is due to the loss of water molecule, so option D is the correct option. Okay, then question number 7, for a ternary system, right, what is ternary system? 3 component system is called ternary system. So number of component is 3 here. 3 means ternary system. Okay, for a ternary system at 1 atmosphere pressure, see this carefully, at 1 atmosphere pressure means pressure is fixed. Pressure is fixed here, that means pressure is a constant. Pressure is a constant. Okay, now the question is maximum phases that can coexist when F equal to 0 is. Okay, listen, for you know the phase rule is F is equal to C minus P plus, we'll put 2 here. The 2, this 2 is for the 2 variables pressure and temperature. If pressure and temperature are variables, then it is correct, but now it is given pressure is constant. Therefore you should make this 2 as 1, because now for our case only temperature is the variable, pressure is not variable. Now F is equal to, what is C? It's a 3 component system, so C minus P plus 1. Okay, or we can write, I'll write here, or we can write F is equal to 4 minus P. Okay, at F is equal to 0, if I put F is equal to 0, I'll get 4 minus P equal to 0, or P is equal to 4. So number of phases that can coexist, okay, at F is equal to 0 in this case is 4. 4 phases can coexist. Okay, yeah, keep this in mind. Then question number 8, distance moved by the sample divided by distance moved by the solvent is. Yeah, this is actually called retention front or retardation factor, which is usually denoted by the symbol RF. Okay, so what is RF? RF is nothing but distance moved by the sample divided by distance moved by the solvent. It's a direct question. Okay, yeah, then so the correct option for this question is option B. Right, then what's the next question? Question number 9, Bragg's equation is. Yeah, we know very well Bragg's equation is nothing but n lambda equal to 2d sine theta. Okay, this is the Bragg's equation, and I like to give some information here. Listen, here the theta value, okay, theta value can go from 0 degree to 180 degree. Okay, and you know very well sine theta, this is the sine function will oscillate like this. Okay, here at theta equal to 0, sine is 0. At theta equal to 90 degree, sine value become 1, this is 1. At theta equal to 180 degree, okay, sine becomes 0. At theta equal to pi plus pi by 2, that is 3 pi by 2, the value is minus 1. So sine value will oscillate between plus 1 and minus 1. Okay, so here the sine value can go from minus 1 to plus 1. Right? Yeah. But we take only, I'm very sorry, we take only angle from 0 to 180 degree, 0 to 180 degree. So from 0 to 180 degree, right, the possible value of sine theta here is from 0 and the maximum value is 1. Maximum value is 1. Okay, suppose if theta is 0, then n lambda will become 0. Right? If theta is, if sine theta is 1, then n lambda equal to 2d. So what I am trying to say here is n lambda can be equal to 2d, n lambda can be less than 2d. Okay, these two are allowed conditions. This is very rare, but mathematically it is possible. Okay, but this condition n lambda greater than 2d, okay, this condition is not at all possible. Okay, so I am giving this information additionally, keep this in mind. Okay, then question number 10, the substance used as a reference in DTAs. We know very well in DTA we use reference material. What is reference material? Reference material is one which should not undergo any chemical change or any physical change, okay, during the temperature range, okay, during heating. Okay, so if you heat, so usually for in DTA we will heat the substance till 1600 degrees Celsius. So up to 1600 degrees Celsius, inert substance should not undergo any change. Okay, so in that, keeping that in mind, if you analyze these four options, yes, alumina has that property. It is very stable, thermally more stable. Okay, up to 1600 degrees Celsius. So you can use alumina as inert substance in the in DTA analysis. Okay, so the correct option for this question is option B. Then question number 11, some cyclohexanone, substituted cyclohexanone is given, exhibit dash Cartan effect. Yes, this is very easy. Okay, so you take this carbon as number 1, and you know very well according to octant rule, we'll give number 2 to this carbon, number 3 to this carbon, number 4, number 5, number 6. Okay, this is octant rule number. Octant rule number. Okay, and according to octant rule number, at 2 position, if any group present in axial manner, that group will contribute plus to the Cartan effect, or it will show positive Cartan effect. Okay, in position number 5, both axial group or equatorial group, right, will show positive Cartan effect. So keep this in mind. Group at position number 2, if it is present in axial, will show positive Cartan effect. Groups at position number 5, whether it is axial or equatorial, will show positive Cartan effect. Whereas group present in position number 6, if it is in equatorial, if it is in axial, it will give negative Cartan effect. Similarly, groups at position number 3, whether it is axial or equatorial, it will exhibit minus a negative Cartan effect. Okay, so in this case, I have a methyl group at position number 5, which is in equatorial position. Whether it is equatorial or axial, you will get positive Cartan effect. So the correct option for this question is question number 11. Okay, keep this in mind. It's a very easy question then. Yeah, so these are all the questions present in 2012 PGTRB chemistry examination. So here I have taken only unit 5 questions, right? In the next lecture, I will come with some more number of questions from the previous year PGTRB chemistry examinations. Okay, thank you for watching this video. Thank you.